This is Spotlight Omaha. Spotlight Omaha is a local podcast that highlights local businesses and influential movers and shakers in the Omaha business community. Spotlight Omaha is brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Now, from the Pyramid Contractor Studios, the host of Spotlight Omaha, Jimmy Allen.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome inside the Spotlight Omaha podcast, where we take you around the city of Omaha, introduce you to local business owners, influential figures, and people who are making an impact on our community. We are brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Pixel Fire Marketing is a locally owned marketing firm that specializes in website design, creating social media ads, and engaging your brand online. If you're not showing up at the top of Google searches, if you need help with search engine optimization, pixelfiremarketing.com is here to help. Joining us inside the Pyramid Contractor Studio today is my good friend Eric Janousek with Janousek Florist and Greenhouse. Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for inviting me, Jimmy.
1913 is when you guys opened the doors at Janousek. You're the fourth generation owner of this business. How's your family been able to sustain over 100 years of doing business in Omaha?
I'd just say hard work, saving money, cutting, corners, and, being able to keep the same business and the same family, reducing, the overhead, our building's paid for. We have a lot more space than, other people, which helps, us grow a business. We don't have that extra cost because, a lot of family members been working over the years and helping out on the floors when we need, help. So it makes a big difference in other businesses might not have that, when you might need to save some money or when you have your family members helping out, it helps, reducing costs and everything. Anytime
I've mentioned that I know you or I share Omaha-florist.com, people light up when they've had experiences with you guys. When we talk about customer service in 2025, it kind of comes with a tongue in the middle of your cheek and talk about customer service being dead. How big of a deal is it for you to be able to not only provide beautiful arrangements, beautiful flowers, but also provide an experience for your customers so they come back?
Yeah, we try, to do really good customer service, which matters because you can get your flowers from, a grocery store or somewhere else. But the customer service is really what kind of makes it a little different for us than other businesses. We can provide, better designs and high quality and cater some needs of, some of the customers might have, different things they want that other, businesses can't do. If there's ever a problem, we fix it right away. I mean, there's always going to be a problem in business. You never know.
Sure.
And it's just kind of how you solve those problems. And if there's ever a problem with our flowers, flowers die. They don't last forever. It might not be the perfect arrangement that someone wants, but we'll fix it immediately. And we'll usually make it better than what we sent out. And that makes a difference how you handle your problems. And I think we really do a good job at it compared to 1-800 Flowers or your national chains where they don't really care.
Well, I want to ask about that because obviously there are those bigger national brands. There's places like Edible Arrangements. You guys haven't really pivoted. You guys do flowers. You do them correctly. You do them at a beautiful rate. You provide all big events with flowers. Is it as simple as we just dug our heels in and we stuck to the guns of who we are and what kind of got us here for 100 years? Or have you guys changed a little bit just subtly over the years that's been so subtle you haven't noticed?
We've changed over the years. Basically, when my great-grandpa started, it was more greenhouse. They used to plant graves.
Okay.
They had the business next to a grave, so you'd get your, flowers there. Then they go plant a grave, and then they grow some of the plants in the greenhouse. And we used to do a lot more, bedding plants and outdoor stuff. But I don't know, maybe last 25 years, we kind of moved a little bit more towards flower arrangements.
Because? Is there a reason?
Flowers are pretty much every day.
Sure.
The greenhouse stuff is kind of more April, May, June. Sometimes we'll use the greenhouse, for
maybe try
Easter.
To get an uptick during certain seasons type thing.
Yep.
Sure.
So, flowers are more every day. People have birthdays, anniversaries, all that stuff. Whereas the greenhouse is more specific for outdoor and just a certain time of the year. So used to grow a lot more in the greenhouse, but that's just a lot of labor. And
sure, and you get some really large space down there too.
Yep.
As far as having that large of a space for only certain times of the year, what is kind of the benefits of that? What's some of the drawbacks? Of that
definitely helps during Valentine's Day.
Sure.
I don't know how some of these other places do it with such a large, volume coming in for that day. We have a whole greenhouse, which I can turn into a giant cooler, and it helps our flowers last longer. And some of these other florists probably aren't even putting their flowers in coolers, just kind of sitting out when they're done because they don't got spaces for where to put the arrangements when they're done. All that stuff matters about the life of the flowers, how long it's going to last. So that's one huge advantage that we got over everybody else, is we got just a lot more space because it's been in the family forever. Same with Mother's Day or other holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Easter coming up, we got a whole greenhouse full of Easter lilies. I don't even know, 500 or something. We do like 30 churches where other places can't because they don't got the room for it.
Sure. I want to ask about Mother's Day. I would assume Valentine's Day is number one, right, as far as business coming through the door. Is Mother's Day number two?
I would say Mother's Day might be number one.
Wow, okay. I guess everybody's got a mom. Not everybody's got a Valentine.
Right,
sure.
Everybody got a mom. Granted, people do spend more on Valentine's Day than their mom, which,
sure.
Those arrangements are a little bigger.
Probably a reason behind that.
I don't know what that could be, but
yeah. How do you staff for that? Because obviously,
it's tough.
You get 3 free labor guys running around.
Yeah,
but they're not quite of the age
they're
of
still in school
cutting lilies
still,
yet. So, how do you gauge as a business owner? Listen, there's these 2-3 days out of the year. We'll throw Easter into the equation, where I probably need a boatload of people.
Yep.
But then there's also random Tuesdays in October where I may not need as many people around. How do you gauge that?
So for Valentine's Day, we're going to hit our max pretty much of what we can do 99% of the time. So I kind of know how many people I'll need, because if I go over that, I'll get in trouble. And, if you can't deliver them, it's not good. So I got to cut off at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And since we've been in business for 110 years, we have a lot of people that we use over the years that just keep coming back over and over again. I have good, 5, 6, 7 designers that I can call up at that
That's
time of
112
year.
Valentine's Days, Mother's Days, where you've learned what goes right, what goes wrong, too, right?
And they know, so they keep coming back every year, same time, which is awesome. Those people are hard to find. For the drivers, that's pretty easy. Everybody willing to drive.
Sure.
So that's no
That's the
problem.
easy
It's the
job, right?
designers. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Because you can't just have
They're the ones that paint the canvas, right?
Yeah, you can't some random person making arrangements. And
You can. I wouldn't advise it, but you can.
I wouldn't have you do it, Jimmy.
Yeah. Good call, by the way. I want to talk about the greenhouse itself. It's located down off
49th and Charles.
49th and Charles, which is
Next to the Homie Inn, Sergeant Pepper's.
you grab yourself some champagne on tap.
Yep.
But it's right off Northwest Radio Highway, right off Saddle Creek. That area is seeing a boost, a retraction, a boost, a retraction. You guys have stayed firm. I mean, where everybody's kind of in this mad dash to move to Elkhorn and Gretna. You mentioned you guys own the building. That's probably got a little bit to do with it. But why is it such a big deal for you personally to still do business where your great grandfather did?
It's a nice central location. Close to downtown. I can get out west pretty easily. It's close to Dodge, and it definitely helps delivering. Plus, the whole customer base has just been there forever. So a lot of old customers that we've had for 50, 60, 70, 80 years live in the area.
Sure.
So I don't want to go away from there. Plus, the area is about to get redeveloped. I don't know if you heard, but maybe a couple of weeks they're about to start tearing up the whole street and doing a whole city project of $5 million development. So that area is starting to pick up.
Sure, you hated that news.
I'm all for it, 100%. So it'd be nice to have some development come back to that area.
We're catching up there. Janousek of Janousek Florist and Greenhouse here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing and Pyramid Contractors. When we talk about same-day delivery, that's something we've been in networking meetings together. We've had personal chats about it. You're always available to do that. Why is having the ability to pick up the phone and deliver for a customer a big deal for you in the same-day scenario?
A lot of people can't. You can't call Amazon and get flowers in 2 hours, right? That's one thing that we specialize in, same day, last minute. Maybe it's 1:00 and you just found out about a funeral or you forgot your girlfriend's birthday. Well, we can still get it out because we're, always ahead. I got enough employees making stuff, so we're not behind. when we're making our orders. We call in, we're almost making them, 10, 20, 30 minutes after you place your order, if they go out that day. So we're always ahead and we're ready for, last minute stuff, which, flowers, a lot of times that's the way it is.
You've mentioned your employees 3 times now, and this is a question we ask every single person that comes in here. But this isn't just your name. It's your father's name. It's your grandfather's name. It's your great-grandfather's name. Mm-hmm. How difficult is it for you to take your hands off the wheel a little bit, hire somebody, and allow them to not only take your name, but your family name and carry on that reputation that you've been carrying for over 100 years?
I'm always going to be there. My dad's always there still every day.
Sure.
So hard for him to let it go. Just let me do stuff. Which, I think is a good thing. You can't just let your business go and have random people you might know. But we do have a lot of employees that's been there a long time, 10, 15, 20 years. So I do trust them, which is nice. So I can, if I have to go somewhere or go do an interview, I can say, hey, guys, I'll be back. And I know everything will be just fine.
From all the podcasts you do?
Yep, all of my national podcasts all the time, right?
What is it about this? Like, obviously, it's your family business, but you didn't have to go down this path. What was it about the Florist and Greenhouse that led you to wanting to
didn't want to be a florist when I grew up.
Yeah.
I just saw how hard my dad worked, and I was like, I don't want to work that hard. And then one day I just talked to somebody and said, well, you'd be stupid not to. They spent all this time, growing the business, and everybody dies, everybody falls in love, and you ain't stopping that. So you might as well make some money off of it. I'm like, you're right. It's going to be here for end of time, man. Everybody's going to need flowers. They're not going away.
That's an interesting point because, listen, you like the business. Every business owner likes business coming through their door, but sometimes it is situations where you are dealing with a lost loved one. How do you gauge handling that from a, hey, this is business versus somebody just lost somebody's standpoint?
It's always a tough one. When, families come in, they're always grieving, and, you want to console them and help them out as much as possible. So we have a funeral kind of coordinator, wedding coordinating person that kind of handles all the family members that come in and, goes over what they need or what they don't need. Sometimes families try to buy too much, and honestly, we tell them don't, because, you don't need $10,000 of flowers.
Because they're going to be gone in a week anyway.
Yeah. Put that, towards better use. So, we try to do what's right for them. Was
that always easy for you to do, or was that a struggle?
No, that's a tough one. Honestly, I try to let my employees do it just because they do a better job than me at that. And I know that. So let them handle the families that might be grieving a little better.
You mentioned it a minute ago. You guys work with several churches. Mm-hmm. There's a specific university around here that you guys work with as well. How much of your business, and like just from a ballpark standpoint, is people walking through the door, people checking out omaha-florist.com, and or from a corporate/church venue type arrangement? Online
is definitely a lot. I'd probably say half our business.
Is that surprising to you?
No.
Okay.
Online flowers is huge. And, 1-800-Flowers, they spend a ton of money on advertising. They're one of the top people on online advertising. A lot of flowers get sold online. People want to see the pictures. They want to, see what they're buying, so they're not going to, drive down to the florist. They just go online and look at pictures and, I'll take that one. So it's a visual thing. Whereas they come down the shop, might have picture books, or they can flip through, or maybe see some arrangements in the store.
Have you always understood that portion of it, though, that people want to see it online? Is that something that you've always?
Yeah,
you're pretty tech savvy, and we've had conversations about that. Is that something that when you came into the business, maybe you kind of helped a little bit too?
Yeah, 100%. My dad's not very good with computers. He's old, so
I was making a ballpark guess there, by the way.
But yeah, no, I definitely been trying to build up our online presence as much as possible, just to fight back some of these online order gatherers. They take a big cut of the money and they just send the flowers, to a florist in Omaha. So if you ordered from them for like $100, the florist might get lucky and get $50 of that $100. And all these places are just a website with pictures. They don't have flowers. They don't have nothing. So honestly, I'm trying to fight that. That's probably the number one problem with flower business right now. It's got all these order gatherers who try to take a cut of all the flowers and then just pass the order on to another florist.
So they're overcharging when people can just go down the street and get anyway.
When all they could have just done is look online and looked up a local florist, no matter who it is.
We started talking about the website. I kind of cut you off. We just had Brittany McLaughlin from A View West in here this week, and obviously large wedding venue. Is that an area that you guys feel like you could grow your business, maybe connecting with people?
Absolutely.
Like that?
I've been trying to grow our weddings a lot. We average maybe 2 or 3 weddings a weekend. Our wedding coordinator has been.
Is that a low or a high number?
I'd say that's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah.
It just kind of depends.
I honestly didn't know. That's what I was asking.
Depends on the size of the wedding. Some of them are a lot smaller than others. So if there's a couple small ones, I can do 3 or 4. But some weddings are gigantic, and I do 1 or 2 of those. But I'd love to fill up every weekend, if possible. Our wedding flowers, I think, are at a great price because we don't have the overhead of all these other places, and we're not just trying to make money on weddings like some wedding designers that just do it on the side. That's all they do. Well, we do everything, so it's not like we're trying to
just somewhere you like to put more of a foothold in.
Overcharge people for a wedding bouquet. When they
you guys did our flowers for our wedding. It was fantastic. So I can't recommend Janousek Florist enough from that standpoint. I think the 10,000 foot view would tell us the slow months would probably be November to January. Is that fair?
All the months are pretty similar except for the holiday ones.
Sure.
Because everybody says birthdays, anniversaries, funerals, they're all pretty consistent throughout the year. You just kind of get those spikes for, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Christmas.
Christmas is big. Okay.
Yeah, Christmas, pretty much all month long. People will, send, all month.
Sure.
Or you'll have big companies that want to send out, 30 arrangements to all their employees for gifts or, wreaths for gifts, which make it super easy for the companies because we can knock out 50, their clients, and they all love the gifts too. And they most likely ain't going to have flowers as a gift, which is, nice.
What is an area that you would like to see the business grow in? Is there anything that you guys haven't necessarily touched on or maybe tried yet that you'd like to maybe put your fingerprints on a little bit?
Definitely the greenhouse. I would love to see it grow. 30 years ago, it was, huge, massive. You didn't have all these Ace Hardwares and all these other Lowe's and,
who do flowers 2 months out of the year.
Yeah. Just, they don't even, take care of their plants. You're lucky if they water them after the first 2 weeks. And their quality just goes down, but everybody just seems to go there. It's not like the price is better either. Our price is really good because we grow a lot of the stuff from scratch, whereas other places grow it and then ship it over to Lowe's and they, take a cut. Well, we're growing it at, half the cost. And honestly, my dad does a great job growing the plants, making them bigger, bloom more, and rather than all these other places don't honestly take care of their plants.
If somebody is coming down to the greenhouse, what is something they can expect? What are some of the options you guys have in there that people can look forward to?
Yep. Perennials, annuals, hanging baskets, patio pots, vegetables, herbs.
What's the best seller? What do you like out of the greenhouse? What's usually the one you guys have a hard time keeping in stock? Rose bushes?
I would say the hanging baskets go pretty fast,
okay.
Especially the bigger ones because we can only do so many of them, or the patio pots. Those go pretty quick, usually in the first couple of weeks, and they're gone. And then, all the plants are kind of left over after that, and we can make hanging baskets, but they're not going to be as nice as the first round that's been growing for, a couple months ahead of time.
We're catching up there. Janousek of Janousek Florist and Greenhouse here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing and Pyramid Contractors. I want to talk about you for a minute, you personally. Husband, father, 4th-generation business owner. You do a ton of networking. You're out there fighting 1-800-Flowers tooth and nail every single day. How difficult is it for you at the end of the day when you leave the greenhouse, get done coaching soccer, put your phone down, step away from the business? Is that difficult for you to do?
Yeah, it's pretty easy to, do once I'm – because it's got so much going on,
Sure.
So once I'm done with the florist, I usually running right over to soccer practice, coaching soccer. As soon as I'm done with that, I'm putting the kids to bed, and next thing you know, I'm sleeping. So
yeah, how have you ever, like, has there ever been a time where you've gotten better at balancing that, or is it just always 100 miles an hour no matter what?
No, I'm pretty, good at balancing it for the most part. I mean, honestly, I probably couldn't do it without my dad.
Sure.
He helps out so much with that. And even my employees at the Florist, which basically allows me to help coach soccer when I need, or if I have a game that comes up, they'll take over on Saturday or a tournament, which allows me to leave. And it's, I don't honestly know how some of these other people do it without, the help that I have.
Support system, sure.
Right. My dad is huge in that. My mom as well. If I didn't have that, I couldn't work all the time and go home with my kids, coach soccer, and then come home and take care of them or go out of town on vacation and stuff. So that's one awesome part about, family-owned business, knowing that he's always there.
You obviously have a while to figure this out, but is the long-term goal maybe to pass it on to one of your three or all three of your boys?
Yeah, I would love to pass it on to one of my boys. They seem to want it right now, but they're only 10, 8, and 6. So,
they don't know what they want yet. They don't know what they're asking for, right?
I think they just want to come down to the Florist and get some money or something out of me. It seems like they want to do, but
that's a good thing though. They know the value of work.
Yeah,
right?
I'll pay them to sweep the floor up.
Yeah. If you weren't a florist, what were you going to be?
If I wasn't a florist, there's a couple things I'd probably be. Either a soccer coach.
Yeah, the head coach of the U.S. national team, maybe coming opening again sooner rather than later.
Maybe be a stockbroker.
Okay.
Or like a banker.
Okay. Well, we've plugged it a couple times. Plug the website, and where can people get a hold of you at?
Website, omaha-florist.com.
You got a phone number people can call as well?
Phone number, 402-556-5652. Had that phone number for I don't even know how many years.
So you remember that really quickly.
Yeah.
Some of it's been around for a while.
I found a business card a couple of years ago, and I flipped it over. On the back of it, it only had 7 numbers. Oh. No, 4 numbers. So, it was just 5652.
There you go. Yeah, that ain't gonna do it. But if you listen, it is gonna be Mother's Day soon. Maybe you have a birthday or an anniversary coming up. Head over to omaha-florist.com. Use the dash to save some cash, as Eric likes to say. 1913. You don't stay in business for over 100 years by accident. Check out Omaha-Florist and Janousek Florist and Greenhouse this spring and summer. Buddy, I appreciate you doing this with us. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for having me.
We'll be back tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Thank you to everybody who watched. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and follow the channel. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in the morning.